Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. HVK all day. Let's get it, man. All right, so this one is going to be about red flags to look out for when dealing with women. All right, so I made a list. This actually might be uh part one out of part two video, just so it's not too long. But I wrote down a list of things that you should look out for when dealing with women. All right, red flags, as you should say. So the first one that I wrote down was she's a social media junkie. All right. So what that means is that she uses social media a lot. She's constantly taking selfies, right? She's just always seeking that validation. Okay, and that's a red flag when it comes to women because, you know, why are you looking for so much external validation for? If somebody's always seeking validation, just constantly just taking selfies, their whole page is just selfies. It's a lot of like, they're lacking from within, so they need to seek that validation externally because essentially they don't really feel that good about themselves since they're always looking for uh, confirmation through likes and comments. And yeah, man, that's how social media works, bro. That's what I've noticed when it comes to those chicks that have just like their whole page is just selfies, and they're just constantly on social media. They're not really mentally stable, bro. Okay. The next one is tattoos and piercings. All right. So this could be to some extent, right? There's nothing wrong with chicks having, piercings. But when it comes to, exaggeration, right? When she just has her whole face pierced, or when I talk about tattoos, it also depends as well because that some tattoos can kind of be a turnoff. And right here, I wrote especially dark art. And what I mean by that is like you could basically tell what a person is about by like their tattoos in a way. If a chick has like a freaking a pentagram or some, dark imagery on her body, do you really think that like she's gonna be good for you? And obviously, people can change and stuff, and we shouldn't really base too much on their outer appearance. But it's just something that comes with it, man. When it comes to tattoos, it just depends, man. It just depends on what kind of tattoos they have and how many they have, because you don't want to be like with a chick that has a bunch of like gang tattoos on their body, right? You're gonna see that like as a red flag. Um, because they say don't judge a book by its cover, but to some extent, man, like you have to investigate these people, and tattoos is just a clear sign in kind of proceeding with caution. All right, so you use your discernment when it comes to tattoos and things like that. All right. The next one is if she's bi and uses pronouns in her bio. Okay. This is another thing that you have to look out for, bro, is if she tells you that she's bi. All right. And I made a video on this a long time ago. It's like why you shouldn't date like bisexual chicks as a masculine guy. And they're just gonna bring a lot of confusing energy, right? And when it comes to this whole pronouns things, guys, it just adds a lot of confusion to it. It doesn't make sense to me how you could be in a long-term relationship with someone if they like a different gender. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I've dealt with chicks that were bi before, and they always brought like a lot of confusion. And yeah, they were never really serious to be like hanging out with long term. If you actually want to start a family, bro, you don't want a bi chick, man. You want a chick that's actually, feminine and is about you, isn't double minded out here. Okay. And when it comes to those pronoun stuff, guys, I do not understand that nonsense. It's just confusion. All right. Number 4, she smokes or drinks. She's a party girl. All right. So I remember when I used to drink and I used to smoke, I used to think it would be cool to attract that, right? It would be cool to hang out with a chick that smoked weed also or just drank, but that was the type of energy that I was on at that time, right? So that's what I wanted to attract. But being on this SR journey and being sober, you see everything very differently, right? So when it comes to dealing with chicks, you're gonna find yourself being very turned off by chicks that are just smoking weed or just getting drunk, or just always wanting to party, or being very reckless, right? It's gonna be a turnoff because I remember like a couple weeks ago, I seen this chick walking, right? And I looked at her from a distance, and then all of a sudden, like, I smelled weed, and I guess she was like smoking a joint or something, or hit a pipe, but I could smell her smoking from a distance, and like it was automatically like a turnoff, bro, because I do not want to deal with any of that. I've had exes in the past that would be just like addicted to that, man. They would have like their wax pens, and they would just be constantly hitting it, and they just, yeah, bro, they're just very reckless and emotionally and mentally unstable because they're always, always trying to get high, always trying to get drunk, and there's no stability with that, man. There's no stability, and that's another red flag that you have to look out for, bro. Because if she's always smoking, always drinking, she's just gonna bring a lot of drama into your life, right? And yeah. Okay, number 5. She listens to promiscuous music. Female rappers like Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, and all these like promiscuous women, right? The boss chicks, the women that be talking very lustfully in their lyrics, talking about I don't need a man, and just talking about all this sexual stuff. If she listens to that type of music, that's automatically a red flag because these women out here get influenced by this stuff, and then they start acting like the people that they listen to. Music, the type of music that someone listens to can tell you a lot about them, right? And if she's listening to all this worldly music, all this sexual stuff, bro, she's not to be trusted. She's not to be, invested into. She belongs to the streets. If she's listening to that, and if she actually enjoys listening to that, she's gonna start acting all masculine. She's gonna start trying to control you. And yeah, all this toxic like music that is out here, bro, is just to corrupt these women's minds. You know what I'm saying? Okay, number 6 is how she dresses. How she dresses is a straight indication of what type of female she is. If some female is out here half naked for all these dudes to see, she'll pretend like, oh, it's not about the dudes, but she's looking for that validation. She's looking for that attention. And, being on SR, you have this new pair of glasses, man. You have this new awareness that when you see chicks dressed in a certain way, it's like you kind of lose respect for them, because they're not really respecting themselves in a way, because they're over here with their titties popped out. They're just, barely, basically half naked, bro. And, it's a trip, bro. It's a trip, and you just know that she's just not loyal to you. If a female is out here just dressed like that, she doesn't really have respect for the guy that she's with. That's if she has a guy. But yeah, in other places, the reason why females cover themselves up is so men won't be lusting after them, right? But it's also, a respectful thing to do, to be modest, and I'm not saying to be out here just wearing a sweater in 100-degree weather, but to a certain extent, man. Like a lot of these chicks, bro, they be straight up dressing like prostitutes and then be calling themselves like queens or something. You know what I'm saying? It's just very bizarre, right? It's very bizarre, but you could see right through it, man. So that's another thing in how she dresses. That's another red flag that you should look out for. Number 7, I wrote, she has a boyfriend or recently got out of a relationship. All right. So this is another red flag that, yeah, some chicks be having boyfriends but straight up still be talking to you or wanting to hang out. And I also wrote, or she recently got out of a relationship. And that could also be another red flag because, if somebody barely gets out of a relationship, that other person is still attached to them, spiritually, mentally, energetically, right? So if you're dealing with a chick that just got out of a relationship, bro, she's gonna bring a bunch of drama. She's gonna bring in a bunch of baggage into that relationship because she's not healed. She hasn't healed from that. You can't just be out here jumping from one relationship to another. And yeah, it's just all creating all these soul ties, bro. I've dealt with chicks that, have just gotten out of a relationship, and yeah, it's just always drama. They're always talking about their ex. They're always bringing like baggage onto you, because they're not, like I said, they haven't healed. They just don't want to be by themselves because they don't love themselves. So they always feel like they need to be with another partner, right? But that's very toxic, bro. But yeah, those are a couple of things that I wrote down. Those are the 7 red flags that you should look out for when it comes to dealing with women. I'm gonna make a part 2 to this, so this video isn't too long, but I just made it up to 7 right now. I still have a couple more to go, so I think I'm gonna just wrap it up with this one and just make a part 2. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think about this. Stay tuned for part 2. And yeah, so okay, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.